hallway with you after the game. What was it like to kind of share that moment with him?
Yeah, that was a very special moment. My dad went to Georgia, and so he's grown up a Georgia fan. To be honest with you, he grew me up a Georgia fan. So, I'd been watching them ever since I was a kid. Obviously, except for the past couple of years, and to be able to come away with a win against them, especially for the first game, that I really get a legit amount of playing time. To be able to share that with him was really special.
What you told me last week. You told me, I asked you, I think a couple of weeks ago, I said if Morris, no matter what he dials it from the sidelines, you feel confident you can go in and execute, and you did that Saturday night. Was it just a culmination of repetition all throughout the offseason that you were so confident in what they were going to do offensively?
Yeah, I think the offseason definitely helped me a lot as far as just confidence goes, especially as far as knowledge in the offense goes, and really just overall maturity as a player. I was able to develop my body more into a tight end, which I think brought a lot of confidence.
So now you're a confident player because you've had some production in the offseason, Dabo's raved about your ball skills, but when you get a touchdown and you're a young guy, sophomore, your name's called over the PA system, all those people cheering for you, are you more confident when that happens because you've had some success, you've reached the end zone?
Yeah, I think, I feel like success builds confidence in anybody, so I definitely feel like that boosts your confidence. But, just to be able to, especially when you score, have all your teammates there to celebrate with you, and just, it really helps you realize, hey, they believe in you, coaches believe in you, you can do it. And just kind of that whole atmosphere, definitely, really kind of everything about it, I feel like builds confidence.
You watched the touchdown several times over the weekend?
To be honest with you, I saw it in film this morning in segment meetings, but that's kind of been about it, to be honest with you. So.
Stan, when did your dad play at Georgia?
Oh, he didn't play. He just went to school there.
What's his name?
Stanton Seckinger.
You obviously growing up a Georgia fan, you've been thinking about this ever since the schedule came out. But was it kind of surreal to look out when you came out pregame warm-ups and see those helmets and those uniforms?
Yeah, it was a little different. Well, my mom played volleyball here. My dad went to school at Georgia, so I've kind of been growing up on both sides. My foot in both ponds, so it was definitely different to walk out and be like, okay, well, here I am playing for Clemson, and here we are, playing Georgia. Just kind of, through my whole childhood, just kind of being split between those two is definitely a different feeling.
Did you go to Georgia games or Clemson games when you were a kid? Which one did you go to most of?
I think I went to one Georgia game when I was a kid, and I want to say I came to maybe 2 or 3 Clemson games. So I had, obviously being from South Carolina, I had a lot more friends who followed Clemson, so I was able to make a couple of trips out with them.
And you hadn't watched. You said you hadn't watched the play. How many people have asked you to go through the play, the touchdown play, since Saturday night?
Tons of people. I couldn't give you a number. Yeah. It's been a lot, though. It has been a lot. So I don't know. I'll look forward to kind of going and checking it out more in depth, just for the fun of it. But at the end of the day, we play South Carolina State on Saturday, so that's kind of behind us, and we kind of need to move forward and get ready for the next opponent.
I guess I'll ask you one more time though. Did you think you were out of bounds, or were you shocked when that referee was kind of like standing right there 2 yards from the end zone?
Yeah, I thought I was in bounds. When he said, when he signaled that I was out of bounds, I was a little shocked, and that's why, I think, I don't know if y'all saw, but I was sitting there shaking my head. I was like, no, you got to review that, because I was pretty sure that I had stayed in bounds. But, after the review, it was a little closer than I thought it was. But, overall, I was able to stay in. So
maybe in the spring when Jordan and Sam were tight end, did you ever think, it'd be cool to just see a couple snaps in this game, and then to get to the point where you're making a couple catches and making an impact and the score of the game and the game-winning touchdown? What was that like for you, that process of trying to figure that out?
Yeah, with the offense rotating through, different people, I knew I was going to get a good amount of playing time this year. especially with with Sam out and having to step up and really reach into the depth of the players that we have. So I guess coming through the spring, I knew that I needed to step up, regardless of the number of snaps. I wasn't thinking, okay, well, this is how many snaps I want, or this is how many I'm going to get. I just was, telling myself, hey, I'm going to be ready whenever I go out there. So, luckily I was able to take advantage of the moment.
Is it difficult trying to not put too much extra pressure on yourself, knowing that, hey, this is, kind of my big opportunity with those guys hurt, and kind of, wanting to seize the day? Has it been hard not maybe put too much pressure on yourself to try to do too much?
Mm-hmm. I don't really try to think and approach it that way. Really, I just kind of feel like when I walk out on the field, I want to know 100% of what my job is, what I need to be doing, and I don't want to let my teammates down. So it's not necessarily more of a, okay, well, this is my chance, this is my time. It's more of, okay, well, I don't want there to be a drop off, and I don't want Taj to be back in the pocket looking around, saying, okay, well, I don't really trust my man over here, so I'm going to try to look over here. I don't want him to have to go through that. So I want everyone, when I'm on the field, to be confident in me, confident in my ability. So really, when it was my time to step up, my thought process was, okay, well, I don't want there to be any drop off, and I want everyone to be confident in me when I step on the field.
Do you think about it all? If you play well again Saturday and then get another chance at NC State before Sam and Jordan really get back in the fold, and that you could say, hey, I'm going to play well enough to where the coaches can't take me out there. Take me out of there. I don't care, how physically gifted Jordan might be or how much experience Sam has. I want to, show these guys, hey, don't take me out. I'm this good. My
objective really is just to go out on the field and perform to the best of my ability every time I go out there. And in my opinion, if I do that, everything else will fall into place. And at the end of the day, as far as all the playing time questions go, that's the coach's decision in the end. So I really can't answer too many questions about that. But every time I get on the field, I want to play the best that I can, and I just want to make sure that I'm prepared to do that every time I step out on the field. So whenever I'm out there, try to take full advantage of the opportunity.
We hear a lot about nameless, faceless opponents from you guys. It seemed to work a little bit against Georgia. Is it more difficult this week with South Carolina State to approach the game with that thought in mind? No,
I don't think so. You look at a Saturday that you play on, and you say, okay, well, we've got a game. You don't think of a school logo or a player's name that we're playing against who's gotten has gotten a lot of time on TV time or things like that. You try not to think about those kind of things. You just say, okay, well, hey, this is the next step to where we want to go, and this is the next person standing in our way. So it's kind of, I guess, how you got to approach the games.
Dabo's mentioned about how when you first came here that I guess he spoke to you, and even I think your parents even said that he didn't have a spot for you. They didn't have a scholarship, but he really liked you, wanted you here. I mean, can you kind of talk about what made you decide to come here? Were you considering maybe taking a scholarship somewhere else, or why come here when Dabo said, hey, I don't really have a spot for you right now, but I think there's a place for you in the future?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think if any athlete has a opportunity to go multiple places, and you have to be interested in the different places and check them out. I mean, regardless of if you grow up a fan of one place or a fan of another place, you do kind of have to just look around to make sure that where you want to go is the right fit for you. So yeah, I mean, I definitely I looked around in different places, and and I liked a bunch of different places, but there's really no place like Clemson. And I talked to Coach Sweeney. I guess this was 3 years ago, coming up on 3 years ago, and he's telling me, listen, I think that we're going to have a scholarship open for this year instead of having to wait until January. I think we'll be able to bring you in. And so, to be honest with you, when he told me that, I trusted him. He's a great guy, character, so I trust the words that come out of his mouth. And so I said, all right, well, then this is where I want to go. I'm going to trust you. And it played out to where I was able to come in the summertime and redshirt. So